Okay, today we begin chapter 2 on linear and quadratic functions, lines and parabolas. Now, tonight's homework, we're not even writing equations of lines. All you're doing on tonight's homework is you're using the distance formula and the slope formula. Just to get, this is like the appetizer. Now, before we start, we're going to be working in 2 dimensions, yeah? First of all, here is the Cartesian plane. Why do they call this the Cartesian plane?
It's named after a guy named Cartesian.
Named after Cartesia.
No,
No!
it's the Cartesian.
Yeah, it's named after the mathematician René Descartes.
Oh my.
You guys heard of him, right? He's probably the most famous for saying, I think, therefore I am. Did you guys learn that in history?
Yes.
Anyway, how do you say that in Latin? Who takes Latin here? Oto oka.
Cognito ergo sum.
Cognito
Ergo sum.
ergo sum. Yeah, there you go. Sounds right. Anyway, the Cartesian plane is a plane, and then we put the x and y axis here, and it divides it into 4 quadrants, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you have 2 points in the Cartesian plane, let's call them x1, y1, x2, y2, then how do you find the distance between those 2 points? You use the distance formula. Distance equals square root of x minus x squared plus y minus y squared. You need to know that for the SAT. And then how do you find the slope of the line that connects those points? How do you compute slope? Y minus y over x minus x. Okay. And then can I assume we know the basic things about slope? Like, for example, a horizontal line has a slope of 0. A vertical line has a slope that's undefined. If a line is going uphill from left to right, the slope is positive. And if it's coming downhill from left to right, then the slope is negative. And then you know that if the slope is 1, it makes a 45-degree angle, right? With the x-axis. What if the slope is less than 1, like 1/2, 1/3? Then it's less steep, right? What if the slope is bigger than 1, like 2 or 3?
More steep.
Then it gets more steep. Yeah? So you gotta know the basics about slope. So so that's all you're gonna need on tonight's homework: distance formula and the slope formula. So here, let me give you a problem. Suppose we have 4 points in the Cartesian plane. Point A. Give me some coordinates. -2, -1. Hey,
715.
no. Hey, no. What did I just say? Hey, what? Hey,
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to make a problem. I'm trying to think here. Shh. Hey, oh, hey. What did I just say? Hey. I hope this comes out. If not, too bad. Okay, these 4 points form a quadrilateral. Using only the distance formula. Only the distance formula. Determine what kind of quadrilateral that is. Okay, what should I start with then? What do I do if I can only use the distance formula? How about compute some distances? Like, for example, how do you find the length of side AB? You use the distance formula. If you know the coordinates, just use the distance formula. Now, this is not pre-algebra or algebra 1 now. You don't have to show me every single step. In fact, I don't want to see every single step. Hopefully, you can just look at it and go, hey, root 13. Can you guys do that? Why not? This is just arithmetic. Well, I don't want to see this, okay? I definitely don't want to see this. Oh, square root of -2 minus 1 squared plus -1 minus 1 squared. So that's equal to the square root of -3 squared plus negative 2 squared, and that's equal to the square root of 9 plus 4, which is the square root of 13. Hopefully you can just write that down a bunga. It just takes a little bit of practice.
Or a calculator, yeah.
There is no calculator unless it says on the homework. Like I believe there's only one problem on tonight's homework that requires a calculator. And that has an asterisk next to it. You don't use your calculator. I mean, I can't stop you. If you want to use it on your homework, go ahead. But then when you get to the quiz where you got to actually do arithmetic, you're going to feel the pain. Okay, what about BC? Okay, here, let me teach you some arithmetic tricks. What's the difference of the x coordinates?
4.
4. What's the difference of the y coordinates?
6.
6. Okay, square each of them. We can't even square 4.
52.
16, and then square 6. 36, and then add them. 16 plus 36 is 52. So it's going to be the square root of 52, but you can simplify that, right? Because 52 is 4 times 13, right? It's got 4 suits in it there. You ever thought of that? 2 root 13. Okay, what about CD? You just gotta practice. When you do your homework tonight, practice doing arithmetic. What's the difference of the x's? 3. What's the difference of the y's? 2. Square each one. 9 and 4. Add them together. Root 13. Okay, what about AD? What's the difference of the x's? 4. What's the difference of the y's? 6. Square both of them. 16 plus 36. It seems like we did that before. That's root 52, 2 root 13. Oh, so what did we learn? AB is equal to CD. And BC is equal to AD. So the opposite sides are equal. Therefore, we can conclude that this is a parallelogram. The opposite sides are equal. This is a parallelogram. However, it could be a rectangle. It might be a rectangle. How do we check that? Look at the rhymes with diagonals. Is that the only way we can get it?
Use the slope and get the...
No. I said using only the distance formula. You can only use the distance formula. We're playing the game here. Yeah, just like the test. Some of you don't read the directions. Yeah, but that's another story. Anyway, you're going to get your test back. You always get the test back the following day. But I don't give it back at the beginning of the period. You know why? Because then some of you might see your grade and then you're going to just get all depressed and you're not going to listen to the lecture and then the next chapter will be bad too. So we always do it at the end. Okay, AC. What is that length? What's the difference of the x's? 1. What's the difference of the y's? 8. Square both of them.
Root 65.
What? You can add 2 numbers together. One of them is a 1, and that's impressive. You guys, come on. Okay, now what about BD? What's the difference of the x's? 7, and the difference of the y's is 4. So square both of them. 49 and 16.
75.
Okay, carry only 1. You carry 1, not 2. Root 65. Okay, you guys are gonna get a lot of. Anyway, by the end of this chapter, believe me, your arithmetic and algebra skills are gonna go up way. Because I don't know, right now, this is time, and this is your arithmetic and algebra skills. Where are they right now? Around here.
The origin.
Yeah, it's more than 0. By the end of this chapter, the thing should be like raising exponentially. We hope. Oh, so the diagonals are equal. Now we can conclude
It's a rectangle.
it's a rectangle. I think one of the problems is like that. Now, okay, I'm not going to do this problem, but what if I said now, okay, let's play a new game. Using only the slope formula. In fact, why don't we just do it for funsies? Okay, here, new game. Using only the slope formula, determine what kind of quadrilateral this is, but we already know the answer, right? But just pretend. Okay, starting. Using only the slope formula, determine what kind of quadrilateral this is. What do you think we're going to do? We're going to compute slopes. So let's compute the slope of each side. Slope of AB, slope of BC, slope of GG, slope of AD. Okay, how do you compute the slope of AB right here? Y minus y over x minus x. Can we do that in our head? These are single digit numbers, people. 2 over 3. Oh my goodness. That's like really small single digit numbers too. Okay, what about BC here? Y minus y over x minus x.
-4,
6 over -4, -3/2. Hey! Negative reciprocal. That means something.
It's a right angle.
That means it's perpendicular right there. Okay, CD. Y minus y over x minus x. 2/3. See, you guys not even playing the game. Didn't we already know it's a rectangle from the previous problem? So you can impress me by going, oh, since this slope is 2/3 and it's parallel to that, gotta be 2/3 also, right? But no, you guys don't want to play the game. Oh, so then that's perpendicular here too. And then what about over here? See, you do the charade. 5 minus this minus that over that minus that, -3/2. Right? Because you just look at that one. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, so it's perpendicular here and here. What can I conclude? It's a rectangle. Because the definition of a rectangle is a quadrilateral with 4 right angles, right? Now, however, this could be a square, right? How do you check to see if it's a square using only the slope formula? You look at the diagonals, because if it were a square, what can you say about the diagonals? They're going to be perpendicular, right? So let's do the diagonals. What is the slope of AC, and then what is the slope of BD? So AC, y minus y over x minus x. 8 over, I can't do it when there's negatives, Mr. Bart. 8 over -1. Wow, you can divide by -1, impressive. BD, y minus y over x minus x. What? 5 minus 1 is 4. We cannot subtract 1. You know how sad that is? -6 minus 1 is -7. 4 over -7. That took a while. So are these perpendicular? No, they are not. So this is a rectangle. Yes?
Can I count from?
Because?
I can't really see. I forgot my glasses today.
Now, where are you going to sit?
I'll just,
No, don't move. Where are you going to sit if you come up front? On the floor here?
Mm-hmm. And what's wrong?
Because I don't like too many people near me. That's why. Okay, let's do another problem. Okay, sit in the front somewhere. Don't you have a plan B?
No.
Well, maybe you should get one. Like, how about contact lenses and then use the glasses for plan B? Hey, never mind, just sit down. Okay, now here's a problem. Now there's only one problem you're gonna get to use your calculator on. I'm gonna teach you how to use your calculator now. You guys, because the other class, not one person knew how to use the memory. What's memory? Like, you know when you took chemistry, I don't know when you took chemistry, but they let you use a scientific calculator, right? They don't let you use a graphic calculator, right? And then when you have a scientific calculator, you guys knew how to store numbers in there? So you can use them in a future computation? Yeah, the M plus. Okay, well, most scientific calculators only have one memory location, but in your graphic calculator, you have at least 26. One for each letter of the alphabet. Actually, there's more, but I'm just going to keep it simple. You got 26, though, one for each letter. Okay, now what if I give you 3 points in the Cartesian plane? A, make up something. -2, -1. B, make up another number.
8, 2.
8, 2. Okay, I'll go with that. C,
0,
5,
1.
12.
5, 12. Okay. That's kind of big. It's okay. Go with it.
That way we can practice our arithmetic.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. Actually, it's not going to be that hard. Come on. Okay, it forms a triangle. Okay. what's one way of finding the area of this triangle? You remember my summer school class I taught you?
The Moore's law.
No, the simple, like a simple way, like even third graders could do it.
Huron.
Oh, you want to go half base times
Hurons
height?
Formula.
Okay, how do you compute the base? You
Alright,
use the
alright, we
distance
got this.
formula, but how do you compute the height? And we're gonna actually learn that in tomorrow night's homework, on Monday's homework. Right now, we don't know how. What's another way? Somebody had something. Yeah, you put a rectangle around it like this. So the area of this triangle is simply the area of the rectangle, which is easy, right? Minus the 3 right triangles around the sides. Okay, but that's for third graders. Let's do something different.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
If you know the length of the 3 sides of the triangle, because remember tonight's homework, we're just using distance formula and slope formula, right? So using the distance formula, I can find the length of the 3 sides, right? So if you know the 3 sides of a triangle, how do you find the area?
Hurons
Come
Formula.
here.
Hurons Formula.
Wait till I call on you. Anyway, I tell you right now, if you raise your hand, I don't call on you. You know why? This is not 4th grade. Okay, let's compute the length. And you know when you compute the lengths of the side, everybody knows that side A is opposite angle A, right? Side B is opposite angle B, side C is right? You guys know that convention, right? Capital letters for the angles, lowercase letters for the sides. Okay, how do you find side A? Right there. Let's see if we can do it. What's the difference of the x's? Rhymes with me. 3.
16.
What? What's the difference of the x's? Rhymes with men.
10. And then like
So you got 3 and you got 10. Square each of them, add them together.
109.
There you go. Okay, B. Okay, let's test. Pang!
Yeah.
Impress me, go.
Okay. So that would be 13, and then 7, and then you square 13, you square 7, so you get 217. Is that right?
Everybody got that? Is that correct? Come here.
It's 218.
Oh gosh. Okay, what did he say? 13 squared is 169, right?
Oh yeah, what's my bad? 18.
There you go. And then 49, right? It's 218. Okay, if you have to write this on the side, write it on the side. Okay? Okay, what about C? Patterson! Oh, come on, you got an easy one. Oh, look, isosceles triangle. I mean, we just made random numbers. So this is an isosceles triangle. Oh, so we could have gone 1/2 base times height, because if A and C are equal, if these 2 sides are equal, right here, then that means if you just go to the midpoint over here, that's going to be the height then, right? Okay, but anyway, but we're not going to do that. Because I want to show you how to use your calculator. So we're going to use Hurons Formula. You guys remember that formula? Anyway, it's in your notes. How can we not know Hurons Formula? In the times of the Greeks, that's how they figured out how to get, like, you know when they have plots of lands, like that, you have a plot of land like that. How do you find the area of your land? You break it up into 3 triangles and then you use Hurons Formula on each one, right? Just keep staring. Okay, here are the 3 sides of a triangle. Okay, remember Hurons Formula? The area of a triangle, if you know the 3 sides, and that's not K now, that's the Greek letter kappa. Usually we use that for area in mathematics, is equal to the square root of S. S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. Hurons Formula, that's Huron of Alexandria. Now what the heck is S? A, B, and C are the 3 sides, but what the heck is S? The semi-perimeter, it's half the perimeter. Now, can you imagine, without a calculator, plugging these 3 ugly radicals into that formula right there? That would be pretty horrid, right? Okay, take out your calculator. First of all, the first thing we're going to do, of course you could just take out your calculator and punch in into this formula, but I'm going to teach you how to store numbers. Okay, we're going to store the square root of 109 with all its decimal places into memory location A. You have A through Z. So On your now, Casio people, are you on the run matrix screen? You guys know what run matrix is? Okay, press the menu button and make sure in the upper left hand is run matrix. That's where you do all your computations. Run matrix. Make sure you're there. And then go square root of 109. Now, if you want to press enter to see all the decimal places, it's going to be 10 point something, right? But you can just do this, and I'm going to store that in memory location A. Now, how do you get this thing? Now, if you're on a TI, look for STO. STO stands for store. If you're on a Casio, look for this button, an arrow pointing to the right. That means you're going to store something into a memory location. And then how do you get A? Alpha A. Alpha means it's going to, the next thing is going to be the alphabet, right? Are you kidding me?
No.
Look, well, if it's a Casio, look, the letters are red, so and alpha is in red. Look, right there, alpha, it's in red. Alpha A.
Yeah, that's basically what you do. Yeah.
And then if you press enter, now this number with all its decimal places is now stored in A. Moto, you still can't find alpha.
Oh, alpha. No, I couldn't find the arrow.
It looks like that.
I know.
Okay, now let's do it for the other two. Did anybody have problems?
Wait, you got it? Yeah, and you press enter.
Okay, punch in. No, you gotta punch in the square root of 109 first. Okay, backspace. Delete. Delete.
Wait, do you have to press enter first
Okay,
before
square root.
Wait. I think
Square
you press
root.
enter first, and then you can do
Square root, son.
Wait.
Where's the square root? Yeah, above it. So shift. You gotta go shift because it's in yellow. Yeah. Square root 109.
and then
Okay, then you gotta go right
so
arrow.
now A.
Okay, and then store the arrow. Store. And then
Yeah, that's pretty
alpha
nuts.
A. Enter. Execute. I guess execute for. There, you guys got it now? The Casio people, you know when you punch in the square root of 109, then you gotta go right arrow to get out of the radical. You know what I'm talking about?
Or you can press answer, the equal sign, and then use
I stopped this thing already. Square root 218, store that into B, square root of 109, store that into C. And you gotta press enter or execute after each one. You do that. Now we got all three sides stored into our calculator. We don't have calculator. You'll get it by this weekend. Good thing I took blood pressure medicine this morning. Okay, now, you see this thing? Why don't we do that too? So, do this. A plus B plus C divided by 2, we're going to store that into S. Do that now. So left parentheses. So, this number with all its decimal places is going to be added to down and down, divided by 2, and that's going to be stored into S. Okay, now all you have to do is punch in the formula for Hurons Formula right here. So now all you have to do is punch in this. Square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, close parentheses, and the thing should just spit out the answer. Okay, don't tell me, I'm gonna, silence! I'm gonna race you. Oh man, the pressure is on. 109? No, no, 54.5. Thank you. See how I computed a 3 by 3 determinant? You guys did that last year, right, in Algebra 2. But don't worry, when we learn that, I'm going to teach you how to do this. That's probably the fastest way to do it, but just be a bit of, so everybody got 54.5? 50. Who did not get 54.5? You don't get anything?
I'm still trying to take an S.
Is there any way to make a lowercase a, b, or c? Or
Wait, let me look. No. You guys. Moto Oka.
Go on.
Whatever I write over here, you just punch it in exactly. Unless it's different.
It says syntax error.
Did you punch this in?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
And store into S.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's not, you're grounded this weekend. You didn't!
What?
You gotta move to the, you got a right arrow. Right there, right arrow to get out of the radical. Remember I told you?
You forgot the F parentheses over there.
You don't know. Oh yeah, see, yeah, you have a parentheses on the S, so you gotta end the parentheses. Anytime you have a left parentheses, you have to have a matching right one, you know. And the Casio is good because they do it in different colors so you can see it, yeah? Did you guys notice that on the Casio? You know it? Where's your calculator? Holmes? The triumvirate right there. And what about Chow? I'll give you a locker. That's it. If you guys don't have your calculator on Monday, you guys are clapping erasers. That's going to be strike 3. That's what happens when you get strike 3, clap erasers. Anyway, you're going to have a problem with this on tonight's homework. Now, anyway, did you guys know that, you know when you type in a complicated formula on your calculator, let's say you press enter, and you go, oh, like the formula is super long, and then you go, oh, I made a little mistake there, I forgot to put this parentheses. Do I have to type it in all over again? No, your calculator can go back to that formula. You know how?
The up button.
Well, maybe on the Casio you can just move up, but on the TI, you know what you gotta do? Second entry. It's on the lower right somewhere. It's above the enter. So if you go second entry, the thing just goes back to the formula that you just punched in. And then you can keep, if you keep on doing it, second entry, second entry, second entry, it just keeps going back and back and back. So for those of you in physics, don't you enter like super long formula sometimes? And then you press enter. If you made a mistake, you can just go back and edit it instead of starting from scratch. And how come so many people are coming to see me about, Mr. Park, can you teach me how to put stuff in my physics formulas in my calculator? What is the meaning of that? Okay, stay silent. Okay, let's talk about the test. Because we only have 10 minutes remaining.